So we're Functional Fitness For You, and we just want to kind of take some time to share about our story and how we came to be. So yeah, I'll have Lori, if you want to start, kind of just share about how we met, and then just kind of go from there.
Okay. I actually met Ethan at Planet Fitness. That's where it started. And how I met him was, as my boys at the time had just turned 13 and they wanted to start training. And I was told that I could not by doctors. So I signed up for my boys to start training with Ethan, and they did for a couple weeks. And then in a couple weeks, Ethan came over and the boys were training, and he told him to keep going, and he came over and he said to me, "So what about you?" And with a whole lot of attitude, and I said, "What about me?" And he said, "Why don't you work out with your boys?" And I said, "Well, that's a long story." And he said, "I have plenty of time." And I said, "You don't want to hear my story." He said, "I do want to hear your story." Do you remember that?
A little bit, vaguely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then we went over to that little table, and we went over there and we sat down and we started talking, and I was telling you about my knees and all the procedures I had done and all the diagnosis that I had, and I think I pretty much broke your heart in 20 minutes time. It didn't take very long.
It wasn't that bad, but it was, yeah.
So, and then you said you wanted to try and help me.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you didn't know what you were going to do or how you were going to do it, but you wanted to try.
Yep. And then at that time, I went and started working at Overachieve Fitness, and Lori came with me.
Mm-hmm.
Was able to convince her to come over and come with me, and then, to start, your first goal was what?
To walk across the room.
Yeah, without, being so tired. So, we just...
Without tripping, without falling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we did that, and then your next goal was...
To get up off the floor by myself.
Yep. So we just kind of figured it out, trial and error. Some things worked, some things didn't. So we figured out something, and then, then as she was able to do those things, her range of motion, her mobility started to come back more and more. We got into some high intensity workouts, which really helped her to shred weight. Then later on in her training, fast forward, 6 months, 7 months later, she was doing weightlifting, deadlifts, squats,
Mm-hmm.
Running on occasion, prowler pushes.
Pretty much everything.
Yeah, pretty much everything.
Pretty much everything. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then tell me about your injury. How?
So then we got a new dog, and we were getting ready to take the boys to a tryout for a tournament team for baseball. And we had the dog, and the dog is a really big dog now, but at the time he was just kind of that puppy stage where he's under your feet all the time. And I forgot something, so I went running through the house to grab it, tripped over the dog and fell. And I didn't want to land on my knee because I have a plastic kneecap, so I turned my body and I landed full on my shoulder and completely ruptured my rotator cuff. And I knew it was bad when I did it because I couldn't move my arm. I literally could not move my arm other than my elbow. And I was really upset. I remember when I texted you and I said, "Can I call you?" And I told you about it, and you kept saying, "It'll be okay, we'll figure it out." And I was so devastated because I had been working so hard and had made such progress. So finally, 3 days later, I went to the doctor, found out that I had to have surgery, that there was just no other way around it, because it was severe. And he told me it was going to be the most painful thing I ever went through in my life. And yes, Dr. Lutton, it was. It was extremely painful. And it was a very long recovery. So I had the surgery, and I was sitting at home on pain pills on a regular basis. And thank goodness I had my buddy Ethan, who came over and checked on me on a regular basis, made sure the boys did their homework, made sure they ate.
I got a meal in or two myself.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And so that was good. And I was sitting there one night, and I was thinking about it as I'm sitting in my recliner, because I slept in my recliner for almost 3 months because I couldn't lay down. And I texted him this one night, and I said, I have this crazy idea. And he texted me back, and he said, what? And I said, I think I want to be a trainer. I think I want to help people like me. I think I want to give to people what you have given to me and make a difference. Make a difference for people. I said, what do you think? And he didn't answer me right away. And I was like, okay, it really was a crazy idea because he's not answering me. So about an hour or so later, and I get this really big long text from you. And it was, I think that's a great idea and you should do it. And the gist of it was, promise me that you won't quit, you won't look back, you'll just go for it. And that's where it started. And so I got online, I started researching, found the school that I wanted to go to, and started school about the time that I started physical therapy at Physical Therapy, etc. And we were into it, I don't know, what, like a month or two? I think about a month or two. And the insurance company, and I didn't have full range of motion yet, and the insurance company said, okay, you have 2 more weeks and you're done. And I'm like, well, this is crazy. I'm not 100%. So I talked to Devin and I talked to Ethan, and we decided that Ethan was going to help me continue my physical therapy since the insurance wasn't going to give me, what I really needed.
Well, and then you ended up here
Right.
at Physical Therapy, etc.
Right.
And then when did you share that idea with them?
So I told Physical Therapy, etc. I said, there should be something like this, that we could do this for people, that we could help people and bridge the gap between physical therapy and getting back to life and getting back to gym or getting back to whatever it is that you want to do. And so I shared this with them almost like it was just kind of a pipe dream idea type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I came back to therapy again 3 days later, and I was talking to my physical therapist, and she said, I think your idea is brilliant, and I think you should do it here. I was like, wait, what? Are you serious? And I'm not even done with school yet. And she said, you really should think about it. Like, make it real, make it happen. And so I went home and I started thinking about it. I'm like, I can't do this by myself. And so I texted Ethan and I said, so I had this idea and I shared it with Physical Therapy, etc. And they think it's great. Now I'm sharing it with you because I think you and I should do this together. And Ethan you were all for it.
Yeah, I was all about it. I mean, a lot of, in Lori's situation, with her knee surgery, she wasn't done with physical therapy. She, wasn't done with range of motion and different things that they were going through, but her insurance ran out.
Right.
So there's so many people that fall into that category that their insurance runs up, but they're not quite ready for a gym type setting, yet they're not, they still need that one-on-one personal care. So yeah, that's why we wanted to do what we wanted to do. It's just to kind of meet people right where they're at and to show a lot of people too that you can do this. One of my biggest philosophies in training is it helps you get your eyes off of yourself, because whenever you train, you focus on yourself, but whenever you're living your life, it helps you get your eyes off yourself because you feel more comfortable within your own skin. Then you can put your eyes on your loved ones and kind of focus on them, because life is meant to be lived like this. It's not meant to be totally introspective and constantly worrying about how you look and how you feel, you know. So it's one, you know, helping people able to function properly and to just know how to walk, know how to move their body, and also mentally, so that they feel better about themselves as well. And that's, you know, kind of something that we worked with Lori on, you know, because you struggle with even being in a room with a bunch of people.
I did.
You know, and all those things, and now you're sharing your story. I know I've seen you share your story in front of many people, and just how you've grown as a person, even to now where you have 5 or 6 clients on your own, and it's still growing.
Right.
You know, so it's done so much for us, and even for myself. You know, I've grown in the past 2 short years that I've known you, and yeah, we just wanted to keep on rolling. Anything else you want to throw in there?
And I just keep thinking about the one story that I shared with you, and I think is what really got us pumped and moved us forward. Is we were sitting there and you said, and we were talking about just how much our lives have changed, and you said, what's the one thing you really remember? And I said, I remember I was on the baseball field one time, and I said my boys were like T-ball age, so still at the age that they couldn't tie their own shoes all the time. They could if they had lots of time, but in the middle of a game, not so much. And one of them came running over and said, Mommy, tie my shoes. And I couldn't do it. And I remember when I shared that with you, and again touched your heart, and I think that was like the very next time I came in, we started working on slam balls. And you told me that I was going to tie lots of shoes before it was all said and done, and so I've done that.
Yeah. Everything that we've set out to do, you know, we've, as far as in the gym, we've accomplished. And even though it's, you know, taken probably a good 8-9 months to a year to achieve all these things, but we did it the right way. You know what I'm saying? And that's really why we wanted to make this video, is just to share our story, to welcome you guys in to our story, because you know, how we want to train is for one, to make everybody feel comfortable, that you can do this. Fitness is for everybody. It's not just for a select few. Even, you know, the trainers. It's been such a dogmatic view on who can and cannot train. I know Lori, she's gonna be a great trainer. She already has been a great trainer, just because she offers a space within her own heart for people to come in to that space, treat them well, treat them to be comfortable, motivate them, you know. And people are achieving their goals just simply by creating a safe place and a comfortable place for people to come in and train. And we know what we're doing. We've done our information. We've studied specifically corrective exercise and functional fitness. And, you know, I have a background in you know, training athletes and boot camp training and high intensity, you know, training. So it's all ends of the spectrum. Yeah, well-rounded as far as what we can do, and who we can help.
I think we're just going to continue to grow and continue to help people, continue to learn, constantly educate ourselves. We research all the time. So, and I think that's going to just keep going.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. You know, if you want to reach out, feel free, comment, message us. We'd love to hear from you, and help you guys live life better.
Yep, it's all about that. It's just better, whatever your better is.
Right.